Hello there and welcome back once again, it's Fabio Mezzogori. In today's video, I want to talk with you about how you can pay off your debt starting from your credit card loan, okay, which is usually the scariest one with probably the highest interest, so it's the one that you should attack first. But before doing that, I want to share with you a couple of statistics just to give you an idea of why this is important for you. The average person in the UK now have unsecured debt of more than £15,000, which itself doesn't sound too much, but if you add to it the fact that more than 300 people a day were declared insolvent, 14 properties per day were repossessed, and the fact that there are more than 8 million people only in UK struggling with debt, that smells like a big problem to me. So with that being said, by the end of this video, I'm gonna share with you the fastest way to pay off debt. So make sure to stay tuned until the end. And also, if you're not part of the community yet, but you're interested to learn more about savings, investing, and trading topics, make sure to subscribe to the channel, which is, by the way, completely free. So I notify you every time I upload a new video. Let's get started now. All right, so the most important thing you have to do is to understand the interest that you are paying on your debt, and also if this is a bad debt or a good debt. How do you understand if it's a good debt or bad debt? You just need to answer to this simple question. Is this debt used to generate more income, or this debt is just draining money from your bank account? Okay, so this debt is used to bring me more income or to drain money only from my account. Generally speaking, debit card, credit card loan, auto loan, personal loan, etc., all these kind of small debt, if you like, are considered bad debt. 99.9% of the time, they are considered bad debt. Any debt that is taking money away from you, okay, regardless good or bad, if it's taking money away from you, must be paid as quickly as possible. The first thing you need to understand is what kind of debt you have. So the average person that has a debit problem usually have no clue whatsoever about the amount of interest they are paying, he or she is paying. So the first thing you need to do is to open up your statement and see how much debt outstanding you have and how much this debt is costing you in interest each and every month or each and every year. The main problem is that many people are scared to face reality about their situation, but nothing, remember this, nothing can be improved if not faced. So the first step of change is always awareness. So don't be scared, don't be ashamed about your situation. You are not alone. There are other, only in the UK, 8 million people that have the same problem. So make sure to open your statement and gather how much money you owed and how much interest you are paying on this money every single month. Now, after having done that, the main reason why people go into debt in the first place is that they have no idea how they are spending their money. So they lack awareness, if you like. So the second thing you have to do if you want to get rid of this debt is to see where, and more importantly, how you are spending your money. You can do this old school, if you like, such as printing off your monthly statement and go line by line, all right? Or you can use more modern tools such as apps or websites that will help you to sort your expenses for you. I will link them in the description down below. I will link the couple that I personally use in the description down below for you. Doing this will help you to see where and when you are spending your money. At the moment, you probably don't notice how much money you're spending because this process of spending money usually happens gradually, all right? £5 today, £12 tomorrow, £3 here, £7 there. So you don't even recognize where you're spending your money. But when you sum up all these expenses together, I guarantee you 100% that you will probably notice a recurring pattern of where and when you spend your salary, you spend your money. It could be on the everyday lunches, it could be on the everyday coffees, for example, the Friday night beers with colleagues if you are based in London only after payday, right? So it's important for you to understand this process, because from here you can then optimize and start budgeting your expenses, so you can then use the rest of your budget to start paying off your debt. And also, always from this exercise, from the list, you can see that there will be two main different categories, right? The have to spend and the want to spend category, all right? Have to spend and want to spend. The have to spend are all the things like grocery shop, mortgage or rent, travel expenses for going coming back from work, bills, and all these kind of have to expenses that you have for living on a daily basis. The want to spend instead are all things like clothes, new clothes, TV subscription, expensive car leasing, the beers on Friday night, if you're based in London, always after payday, all right? So all these kind of expenses goes under the category want to. Before start spending money, just ask yourself this simple question. Is this a have to or a want to purchase? If it is a want to, but you also want to get rid of your debt, then just don't do it. Okay, and use that money that you just saved to start paying off your debt. Just cut them out. Challenge yourself for this month, for the next 30 days, and cut all the want to spend money out of your life. It can be fun and also healthier, I would say. For example, preparing your everyday lunch at home rather than buying it every single day out. It can be also funny to have a great conversation with your partner instead of watching that boring movie every evening, or why not read a book once in a while. Just try it, give it a try, and challenge yourself for the next month, for the next 30 or so days. And also, don't forget to smash that like button for me, which is important as well. Don't forget it. So now, after you finally become a ninja saver and having subscribed, liked, and shared this video with other people, it's time for you to improve the quality of your debt thanks to a procedure called debt consolidation. All right, debt consolidation. I give you an example with this. Let's say, for example, that you are currently paying 23% interest on your 5,000 debit on your credit card. All right. And you also have an unsecured debt loan, an unsecured personal loan of £10,000 where you're paying 5% interest, right? For example. Well, what you can do if you are in this kind of situation, instead of paying two separate debts, or maybe even more than two, you can trim down the ones with the highest interest and consolidate them all with the one with the low interest applied with the lowest fee. Only by doing that, you will be able to save hundreds, okay, if not thousands, of pounds every single year, which you can use, the same money, you can use them to clear off your debt even faster without giving money away for free, all right? So if you have, for example, three debts, one that you're paying 23%, let's say £5,000 at 23% interest, £3,000 at 19% interest, and £5,000 at 5% interest, what you should do is consolidate them all together with the one with the lowest interest. So rather than paying now £5,000 at 5%, you're going to add up them all together. So you will have a bigger debt, a bigger single debt, but you clear them off you clear all them off with the higher interest rate. Okay. Now, Let's say that for a million different reasons, you cannot consolidate your debts all together. There are several opinions of how you should clear off your debt, but I want to give you my personal opinion and let's say the two options that makes more sense to me, okay? One is more logical, if you like, and the other one is more emotional. The more logical one is to pay off your debt from the one with the highest interest down to the one with the lowest interest rate applied. Regardless of the value amount, okay, the amount value of the debt, you should pay off the one with the highest interest all the way down to the one with the lowest interest rate applied. This method is called the avalanche method, okay? Avalanche method. The other method, the emotional one, okay, so to speak, is to start paying off your debt from the one with the smallest value, regardless the interest rate applied. So just to give you an example, if you have 3 different debt, you should start with the one that has the smallest amount. So if you have one debt, say £1,000, another one with 3,000, and another one with 5,000, you should start attacking the one with, let's say, the smallest value, such as the 1,000 one. This is called the snowball method. Okay, snowball method. This is more emotional, if you like, because if you see it from a logical standpoint, it doesn't make any sense. But from an emotional standpoint, it makes sense because it gives you this sense of moving in the right direction. You start to close down your debt faster, and it gives you this sense of control over the situation. Okay, so this is the reason why I call it emotional. The best way to choose between the two, is really down to you as a person. If you are more rational, I would go for, let's say, one method. If you are more emotional, then you go for the other method. It's really down to you. It's up to you to decide. Okay, no one else, only you. You now. With that being said, you now basically know everything you need to know to start paying off your debt. However, if you can only take away one thing from this video, is this one: consistency. Okay, if you've got to be consistent. You cannot pretend to pay off your debt if you keep doing what you always done. So if you committed, you have to be committed, okay? You have to go through the pain to paying off your debt. But the key word is commitment and consistency, okay? I hope this video helped you in any way. This is Fabio Mezzogori. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. I put a lot of valuable information here on YouTube that help you to move the needle towards financial freedom or financial independence. So if you'd like me to notify you every time a new video is up, make sure to hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you will not miss any new episode. And also, don't forget to smash that like button for me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.